Hey everybody, Konaji here. Welcome back to NASCAR Heat 2, continuing our Xfinity career. Today, we are going to make our Xfinity career legendary, because I'm going to up the AI difficulty to try and bring some new excitement into the game, since we are doing pretty well here in our Stuart Haas car. I don't know why that was so hard to say. And we're going to see what we can do on legendary difficulty with momentum heading into PhEonix. PhEonix is a good track. It's a very easy to pass track, I believe, at least in this here video game. There's many options, and I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good one. Let's see, in the garage. Boy howdy, that looks like a setup that I would do. Apparently I ran here last season in the hot seats. Huh. I didn't remember that. Okay, well, let's give it a try. It's again been a little bit since I played the NASCAR heats. Like, kind of going back and forth with it on whether or not to continue, but we're gonna try a higher difficulty and see what that's like. It may be too much. My gut feeling is they're probably going to be like way faster than us now, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it'll just be more fun, more interesting, more of a challenge. PhEonix is such a tough one to find the braking points. When you head down into the turns, it feels really good, but by the time you make it to the center of the turn, it's like, oh gosh, I'm going way too fast. Luckily, it's not dramatically different than the trucks, and like I said, apparently I already ran here once. I don't remember it, but apparently we did. Unless the setup just happens to be something unlike I would run. Well, the good news is we're at least kind of keeping up and catching these back markers, or mid-pack teams. It feels pretty good. When you can call Roush Fenway a backmarker team. It's too real. It's too real. I always really liked the Roush drivers. I was never much of a Ford guy, but I've kind of cared less and less about that as I've grown older. I used to be, you know, very, very much so. I would pull for the teams of the manufacturers I liked. But as my love for General Motors has definitely reduced as of the last 10 years or so, and Dodge dropped out of the sport, and overall, yeah, I just don't seem to quite care as much anymore. I more so pull for drivers or teams than anything. Alright, this feels pretty good. Let's go do some qualifying, shall we? And we'll hit this button. And we will hit continue, and we will say next session is Y. To the garage, where we will put on 50% tape already. Wow. Yeah, I must have been here already. Why so much tape? I don't know. Maybe this is one of those races where I did and I didn't take the tape off. I wish I could remember. Car out time. I bet you we're gonna qualify terribly. I have that feeling. I got a feeling. I got some NASCAR to talk this week, which is nice. I managed to watch the entirety of the NASCAR race this weekend at Chicagoland. Chicagoland's become a pretty darn good track. It's one of the, you know, very... Oh man, I couldn't get it turned into turn one. That's what ruins that. It's one of the, you know, typical mile-and-a-halves. However, it has a twist in that it's gotten very old and bumpy, and that typically tends to make the tracks more interesting to watch. The other topic of discussion, the fact that this was NBC's first race of the season of coverage. 19th. Okay, that's significantly worse than 19th. Yeah, I'd say legendary difficulty is going to be harder. Now, I totally screwed up turn one. I will say that. I probably lost half a second there. No? Well, let's take the tape off. Let's go down to 35 for this track. That seems good. It's still really, really tight though, so I'm gonna put a right rear spring in there that's gonna try and loosen this thing up. I put a front right spring in. That would have been ugly. That would have been real ugly. All right, let's put that in there. And even to start the race, I'm gonna take some wedge out. Okay, let's hope that helps change it a bit. Booyah! Let's get this race started before I start trying to talk about anything. Nice and easy into turn one. Seem to be desiring to overdrive it significantly. NASCAR Heat 3 is being announced next weekend at Daytona. They're officially unveiling it, I guess. I'm guessing we'll get a release date. You can hold on to it. There's just a little bump to your booyah. Hold it together. A little bump to your booyah. I'm guessing we got a couple months though, at least. Hopefully we get to see some previews of it. I would like to see what they've done. Yeah, we're settling it a bit. It's a short track-ish. It's going to be contact. It's going to happen. So speaking of contact, how about that race in Chicago? It was really good. Even though it was playing out super predictably, like there seems to legitimately be... It's like NASCAR the F1 season is happening, where there's literally 4 cars that can ever win races this season. Like, everybody else is like not even in contention unless something crazy happens, which is bizarre. I don't know exactly what set up that situation, but it's what we're dealing with. But amongst those cars, pretty good racing. There was a very exciting stage win race battle thingamajig between Harvick and Busch, Kurt Busch. That was entertaining to watch, and it just seemed like there was enough options on the track, and the cars were stable enough together. Well, at least the cars that were fast, that they could kind of race each other a bit. And that was fun, and that continued throughout the race. But then at the end, it was like a switch flipped, and the cars that were good for the first half of the race were suddenly not, and the two that kind of rose to the top were Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson, and they had a very nice battle. Kyle Larson came from like 4 seconds back to charge to the front using his crazy highline ride-the-wall strategies to make it all the way up to Kyle Busch. But by the time he got there, I mean, he obviously worn his car out. It was no good. It was no good, you could tell. But lap traffic helped him get back up to Busch, and they raced each other pretty hard. There was a couple contact incidents, and one involved Larson basically trying to slide in front of Busch, but then made contact, and then down in the last turn, Busch pulled what Busch would ever do, and bumped him out of the way. And it was fine, you know, it was good racing. That's the kind of stuff that NASCAR needs. It was not a very... Oh, we just took a big hit to the door there. It wasn't a very popular win by any means, but it was a very popular finish. And of course, you know, Busch egging on all of the hate. But as much as I don't like Kyle Busch, I will make that well known. As much as I don't like him, he's very important to the sport. People and drivers like him are important to make NASCAR interesting. Without interesting drivers, without interesting personalities and different personalities, it just doesn't work. It's not interesting. It needs that attitude. And even like Larson and Busch could not be more different, really, personality-wise, I think, because after the race, Whereas Bush probably would have been losing his shit if he was on the flip side of that coin. Larson was just like giving him thumbs up and high fives, and it was like, you know, that was a lot of fun. That's what we do. That's, you know, that's why we race, for moments like this. And that personality, I think, is important too. Like, having the mix of that two different kinds of driver is very important. So yeah, it was a good race. It was a very good race. I was arguing with NASCAR expert and local oval enthusiast of our community, Jimps, during the race, because he was trying to write the narrative of, well, because Kyle Busch won, everyone's going to think this was a terrible race, and, you know, this is why NASCAR fans are annoying. And there certainly is that effect. There is. Like, even I was like, yeah, that was a great race. The wrong person won, but it was a great race. And I guess that's just okay. Like, I think that speaks more than anything. If at the end of the race, the person I disliked the most wins, and I still have a smile on my face because I enjoyed what I watched, then obviously it was something very good. I don't know how they could replicate that. It was just a very specific situation that happened, and I understand that not every race is going to be like that. That will never be the case. But if we could have that more often than not, it would be great. I do think a big factor of that would be getting more than one car at a time, or 2 or 3 cars on a weekend, to be competitive. So we got to figure out what happened with the field to stretch it out so much. Meanwhile, in our race, we made it to 13th. It's certainly a little harder treading here. This is not as easy. 13th. So we didn't score any points. That's fine. What's everyone doing? Everybody's pitting. We only need probably a can of fuel. Let's do a can of fuel. Hope it's enough. Let's ignore the repairs. I'm going to take a little bit more wedge out of the thing, and we'll accept that. Please don't lose positions. Why, though? Everyone took 2. I didn't think that would be a wise thing to do here. Well, did everybody enjoy running through the field the first time? Because we're going to do it again. We got better tires than everybody, so it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It would be great if the car had not jumped to the high side there. Oh, man. I need to get to the bottom lane ASAP. Put them open. Nope. I will use bumpers if I need to, but I see an opening. I'm taking it. Just stomp on the brakes. It's so weird that the banking continues on further down turn 1. I wonder why, or I wonder if the real cars are using that bit, or if it's misrepresented in the game here. I'm going to use every bit of apron and extra bit of track I can, because we got to make our way forward in a hurry here, or we're not going to have enough time. Hey, it's Booyah again. Booyah. Of course, what I'm worried about is, well, I guess what I should be worried about is using up all my fenders before the end of the race. What I'm worried about is actually using up my tires before that last stage. Even if we do make it forward, we're not going to have enough car to do anything. We will see. Definitely seems like the strategy is way too one-sided. And maybe a bit inconsistent. Like, they seem to take 2 tires a lot more than I ever see the real teams doing. I don't know if it's because of the current packages or the current tires or what, but it seems like anymore the 2-tire strategies just don't come up as often. If they do, it's 1 or 2 people and they just kind of hope that a caution comes out immediately to make it work. Seems like that didn't always used to be the case. Let's try all the apron. It's real tight if you do that, but you can make it work. I feel like we're gonna get some angry messages after this race. I gotta do what I gotta do, though. Word on the street is... Did I mention this last time? I don't remember, but the word on the street is they're going to introduce more feeder series into the next game, including like the NASCAR West series or stuff like that. Maybe bring in some of those old Dirt to Daytona vibes. Which would be interesting. I think if they're going to do that, they need to find a way to condense it a little bit. Or they're just going to have to make it overall more interesting, because if you have to work your way up from, say, 4 or 5 divisions back before you make it to Cup, I think it's going to make it a little too grindy. Unless they add a lot of depth to the game. We'll see. We will see. I guess we'll probably have more answers next weekend. Oh, the other thing. I forgot all about the other topic. We have plenty of time. Was NBC. Generally, it used to be that NBC was regarded as the inferior broadcast crew back when it was NBC and Fox the first time around, and it was more like NBC/TNT, that kind of stuff. Especially after the Benny Parsons era, I think it really started to go downhill. But lately, Fox has kind of seemed to really drop the ball. They don't seem to put as much effort into NASCAR anymore as they used to, especially since, you know, the fall of the Speed Channel and all that stuff. Ooh, got dicey. Where can I go? Oh, hi. I got a car to my inside still. This is very dicey. I shouldn't have got to the high side, I guess. Made that. Oh! He got mad at me. Boy, did he get mad. He got mad and he got even. We still got by him. We crawled back to 15th. 2 less laps. That's not too bad. Not too bad. Alright, nobody's gonna pit here. We have plenty of fuel. I should have taken 2 tires. Oh well. Hopefully we can make it to the top 10. I think we can. I'm liking the difficulty. It seems pretty good. So, of course, the big news with the broadcast this year is that Dale Jr. is in the booth. And everyone was very curious how he would do and all that stuff. And, I mean, obviously... Ooh, that was very bad. I got tagged in the right rear on the entry of the dogleg, and that was an ugly situation right there. I'm lucky to have escaped with as little damage and as little position loss as we did. I gotta get to the bottom. I want to wait. Junior, you're gonna have to wait. Okay. There we go. So yeah, obviously, Dale Jr. had a huge impact on NASCAR and had a huge following, and NASCAR has been hurting without him. Like, ratings are down, and obviously people have stopped watching. So having him in the booth, I think, is good and important. And it's really an interesting challenge for him, because he never seemed like the kind of person that would really go for that. Definitely in his career seemed like he had moments of not feeling comfortable on camera. But what he does have is a lot of passion for the sport. Like, I've always said that he's NASCAR's biggest fan, and I think that aspect of it is very important and could possibly help. Watching the race, certainly having 4 of them in the booth seems... Gosh, I am just running into everybody in the mid-corner. I don't know what's up with that. It's like they do a weird brake check right in the center or something. I don't know. I'm just going to wear everybody's rear bumpers out there. What was I saying? I said something about brake checks. Oh, the passion. The Earnhardt effect. Oh, 4 people in the booth. It's too much. Like, they're constantly talking over each other, and I don't know how you could do it. Like, I know that effect from, like, videos that I make with a group call. Once you get over 3 people talking, it's really impossible to get your words out, your thoughts out without overrunning somebody else. So I think the 2 things I think they could do. Obviously, they signed all of them to a contract, and they didn't realize Junior was going to retire and want to do this. So now they're stuck with the 4 of them. But I think what they could do is trade off a bit. Like, have it just... Obviously, Junior and Letarte... How do you say his name? Steve Letarte? Is that right? I think so. Junior and Steve work well together, and they are previous friends. And then Burton and Rick Allen, I think, work well together. So I think if they could kind of trade the commentary off a little bit, that would work better. I don't know how they would do it, like lap by lap, or segment by segment, or groups of laps, kind of the way they do it on the radio broadcasts. Because they trade off turn to turn and stuff like that. Apparently, legendary difficulty means I use my bumper a lot more. I think that's just PhEonix, though. Certainly more difficult. I'm having a heck of a time making my way through these cars in the top 10. If we hadn't started so back twice, I think we could have been a contender in the race, but we're just really going to fight for every position now. I mean, fight. Dove it in there. Oh! Wow, that very rarely happens. Oh, what's the caution for, though? Did they really give him... Oh, he's got a problem. He's got a flat tire or something? They better not let these guys pass me. That would bother me. I should gain a position when he pits. How many laps do we have? I don't know. Oh, we're on the outside, though. That's a bummer. I'll do my best to get to the inside. I tried. We're not going to quite get there. We only got 5 laps. Ooh. Oh, that was dicey. I enjoyed that. I just had to get it to the inside, so I dove it in real late and then used the brakes to help get the car to rotate. I think that was a good move, though. There was very little contact, if any. Made it happen. Alright. Can we get any more? car really doesn't feel that great to me right now, but we'll see. They're racing pretty hard up here. I think we might be able to get one. Let's use this apron here. Doesn't get you much, but it can get you at least next to them, which is important. Right. That was my best lap ever. Pretty late in the run, too. Is there two Jones with us? And Jones? Which Jones can we beat? If any. I really want this top 5. Clear him. Yes, nice. Try and get one more Jones. Yeah, you got tight in the center there, that's not gonna help. Alright. A little bit of bumper action. Oh, that's going to push them too wide, though. That's not good for us. Save it, save it. He saved it. Everything's fine. I guess you become what you hate. I'm Kyle Busch now. He used on the brakes very early, trying to pass whoever that was. Hey, up to 4th. I think the legendary thing's gonna work out. That was fun. And I got to do basically what I want to do with this series, is just talk about NASCAR. It's very much so less about the game and more about the conversation. Not bad, not bad. Alright, let's see, still doing okay in points. We're still very good for the championship stuff. If we make it that far, we have the fastest lap of the day. Yeah, I think we're gonna be legends now. Let's see if anybody has anything to tell us. No, not a word. I'm surprised and a little disappointed. Is there any rivalry updates? Heading Auto Club next. That'll be a good one. Everybody's still neutral. Weird. I mean, I thought I made some enemies in that one, especially Jones, who I guess because he didn't completely spin out. I don't know. I don't know. Well, good talk, everybody. Good talk. I'll see you next time.